Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel once again. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. I was doing some reading and I thought it was pretty interesting how to discuss this topic given certain events that's happened lately, especially down there in South Florida, having to do with storms, hurricanes, and all that. By the way, come on in, guys. Hit the chat, hit subscribe. Please consider subscribing if you find the content useful and all of that stuff. Okay, if you enjoy the channel, really would appreciate it to help to get the message out even to a wider audience. Okay, here we're dedicated to teaching you how to use a variety of tools, promoting trades and trade skills, and we talk about all kinds of home improvement and DIY stuff. Okay, from welding to carpentry to whatever, anything having to do with trades and DIY. This is the channel to come to. Okay. All right. On our lives, we kind of, I wouldn't say we veer off on the lives, but it's still all tied in, right? We on the lives we're a little more informal. We talk about social issues, economic issues, even some political issues, right? We touch on as it relates to the channel. I always tie it back in to the importance of what the channel is all about. Our mission is to promote trade skills, especially among our youth. It's a lost art, and I want to bring it back. That's what Calibrate Tools is all about. Okay, so yeah, I was doing some reading, guys, and I came upon an article about the recent storm that down there in South Florida. Hey, Perry Girl Life Notes. Hey, Cha Cha Girl, how you guys doing? I ain't seen Cha Cha Girl in a minute. Good to see you. Good to see you. Come on in. Say hi in the chat. That's the least you can do, right? Acknowledge your brother. Come on and say hi in the chat, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. And today we're going to get into it, okay? So I was reading an article, guys. That storm down there in South Florida, Hurricane Ian. Where is it right now, by the way? Anybody know what Hurricane Ian is? I know it moved on to South Carolina or something like that. All right. But Hurricane Ian, let me go to an article I looked at there. That thing is a record breaker, man. It carried heavy rains. Some areas received as much as 12 inches of rain, what is estimated to be a 1 in 1,000 year event. Okay, so it's a record breaker already with the rainfall, and there's also significant flood damage caused by the surge of water from the Gulf of Mexico that rushed onshore, flooding streets and homes. I think all of us may have seen on the television or on the internet the devastation that came with Hurricane Ian. But that's not new. I used to live in Florida, and I'm no stranger to hurricanes and the damage they can do. Okay, I'm sure you guys that live in the Midwest can also attest to the damage that these storms can do, especially tornadoes. If you live in Tornado Alley and all that stuff, we all seen that the devastation that a tornado can bring. Right here on the West Coast, where I am now, you got wildfires. Right, that's a very common occurrence on the West Coast. Wildfires. Running. Just people got to evacuate their homes and everything's getting burnt to a crisp. So that's common over here. So these natural disasters or acts of God, as they call them. You can't control those, right? But how do we relate that to, the rebuilding efforts, right? You may say, well, if you're a tradesman, natural disasters are good. Is that necessarily so, right? All right, we already know there's a labor shortage. We discussed that on several lives already. There's a labor shortage out there, and a natural disaster or act of God, as they call them, like Hurricane Ian, which is the latest, will only increase the demand for skilled trade workers. Skilled tradesmen. You know what I mean? So you may think, well, that's great. For the person who's losing their home and stuff like that, it's not so great. But it is an opportunity. There's always 2 or 3 sides to every story. And so if you're a skilled tradesman and you have to go down and rebuild these areas, hey, you're a hot commodity, man. You're a hot commodity. Skilled tradesman, skilled tradeswoman, whatever. So that's why there's a lot of people rushing down to South Florida right now, because they're a hot commodity. That's where the money's at. Okay? Because when a natural disaster happens, and there's plus a labor shortage, coupled with a labor shortage, wages are going to go like this for you. Okay, if you're say I can think of 9 different trades in the building industry that are experiencing a shortage, have been experiencing a shortage over, I don't know, the last 10 years. You got plumbers, HVAC guys, electricians, roofers. I know roofers are in high demand right now, especially with the storm. They're always in high demand when storms come through. Okay, framers, house framers, because you got to rebuild these things. And that's just to mention, just a few of them, right? They're in high demand. Okay. Like I said, that's why you got people rushing to these areas right now looking for work. Okay. Because that's where the money is, guys. If you're single and can travel, hey, more power to you, man. That's you got to go where the money's at. But there's a flip side to that. There's a flip side to it, guys. When it comes to this labor shortage, disasters happening and all that. There's a flip side to it that you got to consider. Can anybody tell me in the chat? What the flip side to it is? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. Like any other, anything else out there, okay. With a high demand of labor comes a high demand in the building industries. I'm talking about a high demand for building materials. Okay. The shortage is there. There's a high demand for workers, but building materials also go up in price. Okay. So that's the kind of balancing act that you got to consider. Okay. Think about the lumber shortage a couple of years ago. Think about that. Okay. What happened with that? That was a pandemic. Was that a natural disaster? Was a pandemic a natural disaster? Some say no. Some say yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know if the pandemic could be considered a natural disaster. Well, that's a whole other video, but lumber shot up, right? Why? Because of the worker shortage. You didn't have enough workers to harvest the lumber, like in the lumber industries and the forestry industries. They experienced a worker shortage as well. So the supply just dwindled. As a result, everything went up. Well, with natural disasters, not just, lumber isn't the only thing that's going to go up. You got steel, you got concrete, you got, what else you got? Steel, concrete, other things that go up, other materials that go up as well. So and then you have coupled with the labor shortage. So that's the flip side, guys. That's the flip side you got to consider. Okay. All right. Delayed response. Material already limited. Yeah. Perry Girl Life Notes. Absolutely. Yep. You also got shoddy and unscrupulous businesses coming out of the woodwork during natural disasters as well. You gotta look out for those guys, because everybody's gonna come down there and try to get a piece of the pie, and all of them are not. They're not ethical, and you can't get shafted when these things happen. Okay, so is it good for business? Is it good for economies? Yeah, for the most part, natural disasters can be considered good for economies, because when an area is leveled by a storm or so, a lot of resources come into that area to rebuild it. Right, it can rebuild it better than it was before. Right, and that can bring a lot of money into the area just because it got rebuilt. It looks new. So that's I would say, yeah, in that sense, it is good for business. It is good for business, but that doesn't happen right away, right? Because in the interim, you got a whole bunch of insurance claims that need to be filed and completed, right? So, but at the end of the day, I would say yes. Natural disasters are good for business. Yeah, Perry Good Life Notes. You got new businesses coming into the area. It attracts new blood into the area, right? It's like, I don't know. If you look at it from another perspective, it's like it washes or it cleans out the old and brings in the new, right? Cleans out the old and brings in the new. And I know with the allocation of funds, all the political stuff around that, it could be certain areas still don't get the care or attention that's needed, right? It's like certain underserved communities still suffer. Remember Hurricane Katrina, right? Hurricane Katrina was an example of that, right? Certain communities got neglected. They got neglected, and it was downright shameful. But that's just the way it is, and that's that's the world we live in, right? So when you add politics into the mix and the allocation of funds, I like Perry Good Life Note says FEMA, yeah, FEMA, right? What's FEMA stand for? Federal Emergency something, right? It kind of slips in my mind right now. But when you got that mix, you got politics mixed into the game, you got economics mixed into the game. Okay, surrounding a natural disaster, man, you really see if they care about you or not. You really see if they care about you. So yeah, businesses can thrive, and if you are innovative enough, you could take advantage of the situation, right, and really come up. You really can come up if you're an industrious person and you say, hey, look, there's I'm gonna make lemonade out of lemons. Then you can do that if you're that type of person. But once again, you gotta also think business. Okay, stuff's gonna cost more. You got before you get into something like that, you got to make sure you're able to handle that that endeavor, right? Because you don't want to get yourself into something that you can't handle in terms of like trying to start a business, stuff like that. Because the competition is going to be high. The competition is going to be very high in those kinds of environments, right? Everybody, I'm talking from the builders, the contractors, you know what I'm saying, the workers, they're going to be flooding into one area. Everybody's competing for a dollar, right? And not to say that there's probably a lot of money for everybody there in a certain time period, but eventually that stuff's going to dry up. So you also got to be prepared for when it's time to leave that area because the money's dried up. Okay. Yeah. Anybody up from Florida? Anybody got family down in Florida experiencing anything from the floor? I mean, from the storms. Yeah, that's it, right? Perry Good Life Notes. Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. FEMA. Yeah, I don't want to get into the political side of it too much. I don't want to step on anybody's toes too much here. But these agencies, man, you gotta just like any other agency, certain palms are greased, and that's where the money's gonna flow, right? So yeah, guys, appreciate you coming into the chat. Remember, Calibrate. These Calibrate Lives, they're sponsored by exactac.com. Go check out the website. It's a great picture hanging tool, and it helps support the channel. So if you go check the site out, it's right there on the screen. Check it out. Get a nice picture hanging tool. Good Christmas gift. The holidays are coming up. Go ahead on and check it out. Get it for yourself. Get it for your, friends, family members. Great gift. Great way to support the channel. Thank you, guys. You got to throw that in there. Hey, you can't have a channel and not sponsor your own product, right? It just wouldn't make sense. Would not make sense. What? Agreed? Yeah. All right, guys. Tell me what you think. Are natural disasters good for business? Are natural disasters good for business, guys? Let's see here. So, I think Hurricane Ian, I think that's going to cost Florida like in the billions in terms of insurance losses. That's crazy, right? I think it's the highest I saw is like $200 billion that storm's going to cost us taxpayers, right? But once again, what is this channel about? I promote trade skills, guys. Go out there and learn a skill. Go out there and learn a skill, and you can benefit from these types of events. Okay, you can benefit from these types of events. It's already a labor shortage out there. I work at a nonprofit that teaches people how to weld, teaches kids, adults how to weld, and they're coming out there getting jobs right out of school. Okay, a couple of guys, matter of fact, more than a couple of guys, got jobs at SpaceX right out of school, and we just teach them the basic welding skills. That's it, and they're on their way. They're on their way to great careers in the welding industry. Okay, if they want to continue in that industry, right? So whatever industry it is, I don't care if you go to college, great, but also get a skill that in case that company or that corporation doesn't hire you, you can go out there, throw something in the back of your truck and go out there and make money, make a living wage. Okay, take care of yourself and your family. That's what I'm all about. Because when stuff hits the fan, guess what? People are not going to care about degrees. They're going to care about hard skills. They're going to care about hard skills. What can you do? How can you build this? How can you repair that? Okay, and that's what I'm about. Very good life notes. Yep. If I had that type of business, and me and my crew would be on the way there. Absolutely. I mean, you can't, in this type of economy, you got to be mobile. You can't be so attached to one place. You got, because money, pockets of where money is made, they move around too. So you have to be mobile. You have to be flexible, right? In this economy here, you got to be flexible enough to pick up and leave, and go ahead and make that money. You can have a home base and bring it back to your home base if you want to. But I urge any young person, right? And when I say young is relative these days. I urge any person today to get a skill where they can just pick up and leave and still make money with that skill. Okay. Don't get a job, get a skill. Get a skill that can make, that can feed you for the rest of your life. That's what I'm all about here. So when these natural disasters happen, hey, they got earthquakes happening all over the world, right? I remember not a couple years ago, it was probably over 10 years ago. They had something going on over there in the Middle East. And they're always having earthquakes in that part of the world, Asia, Middle East and stuff like that, floods and all that stuff. Hey, they needed truckers, they needed all kinds of skilled tradesmen to travel, and they would pay them very high wages, very high bonuses to travel overseas and work. And if they're putting up your food and board, you can make some good money, save some money. You don't have those expenses, and just go ahead on and make that money and bring it back. I mean, don't be attached to this just one place. It's not the way to think. Sean, how you doing, Sean? Thanks for coming in the chat and asking this question. Is there such a thing as an easy trade skill you can acquire easily? It depends on you, right? I mean, okay, like I said, I teach welding, right? I'm a welding instructor. I'm also a certified welder. I'm also certified trucker as well. Both of those things, those trades have fed me, okay, at least mostly trucking, has fed me like for years. Okay, I do other things as well, but as far as trades, those things have fed me, and they took maybe a couple of weeks to get certified in, to get the licenses in. A CDL doesn't cost you it doesn't cost you any time. I think I got mine in a month, and back when I got it, it cost $1,000. It's maybe more now, but trust me, that couple $1,000, if it's a couple $1,000 right now, and you get that CDL to drive big rigs, I mean, you will never be broke. I mean, you can always make money. You can get your own rig, you can get your own trailer. If you want to stay in that, if you want to grow in that area, you can get your own rig, your own trailer, and you can just book accounts, get clients, or go work with one of the big guys. And that's something you can acquire pretty easily and make money with. I mean, I'm talking about over six figures. If you're as they say, a hustler, you can go out there and make over six figures, no problem. I've done that. Okay, welding is, I mean, we got a class going on right now. It's only a month. It's only a month long. I mean, how easy is that, right? And you get certified after that, and you can go out there and get a job. Like I said, we got guys coming out of class, going to work for SpaceX, going to work for this place, that place. And some of these companies like SpaceX, I mean, they got all kinds of perks in there. You don't even, I mean, the lunch, I heard the lunch is pretty good in there. I mean, it's like a big cafeteria and all that stuff in there. But anyway, all off of trade skill that you went to school for a month for versus going to a 4-year degree, getting a 4-year degree and racking up like thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I mean, you can easily acquire a trade skill and pay for your school if you want, right? So yeah, there's all kinds of trades out there. As far as them being easy, Yeah, I don't think they're that hard. I mean, the basics of it, right? You grow in knowledge as you stay in the trade. You grow in knowledge, and you get better at the trade, and you move on up. But it's pretty easy to get in. You know, it's pretty easy to get in there and learn the basics of the trade. So yes, I would say there is a bunch of easy trades to get in. There are a bunch of easy trades to get into. Okay, yeah. So thanks for the question, Sean. So anybody else, come on in and ask any more questions you want right now while I'm here, okay, in the chat live, guys. So yes, natural disasters, like I said, can be very good for economies, can be very good for certain businesses in the sense that they bring in new, fresh blood. A lot of money comes in to rebuild these areas, and if you're prepared with the proper skills, you can come in and benefit greatly from a natural disaster. Okay. So yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. So come on in the chat, guys. Come on in the chat and participate. Participate in the conversation. We love it. I do these lives to connect with the audience. I don't care if it's 0 people watching or 1, 2, 3. It's fine. You catch me on the replay. I'm just here to connect with the audience here in a more informal level. Okay. Once again, the regular videos of teaching, people how to use this and that. But I like to come in on the lives and communicate with everybody, and we can go back and forth there and build a better bond. That's what the lives are all about. Perry Good Life Notes. Right now in California, you can learn for free at a community college. Yeah, I think Perry Good Life Notes said that in the chat before in one of the lives. They do have a program where you can learn for free at a community college here in California. I think it might be specific to California where you could they're offering that. And yeah, you got to look out for these opportunities, guys. Look out for any opportunity you can to learn a new skill. Okay, you don't have to be swinging a hammer. You can go learn some computer skills. Okay, you can learn some IT skills. Those are in high demand as well. That's a trade. People may not think that it's a trade, but it's a trade. Yeah, you can learn a nursing skill or something like that, or that's a trade as well, right? So it's not just about swinging a hammer, holding a drill. This channel is focused more on the building trades, okay? But you have other types of trades, right? That you may want to consider too, right? Be a lifelong learner. Don't just settle into one thing, right? Always look around and see what other opportunities that you can benefit from. How's the workload as a welder? Juggling family, leisure? Well, I'm a welding instructor. I'm not necessarily out in the field like that. I'm at a particular location, and we got students coming in from all backgrounds. Sean, we got people coming in from fresh out of prison. We got you might as well say it could be homeless people. It could be people that went to school already, right? But we kind of look for we kind of try to serve underserved communities where the opportunity is not as abundant, and but for a welder, I'm sure it's it depends, right? If you're in the union, you probably have certain work hours. If you're an iron worker or something like that, you got to schedule amount of work hours. It could be an 8-hour day. I don't know if they pay overtime or whatever. But if you have a family and anything, right, it's gonna have to be some kind of balance or some kind of limit set, right? Because you don't want to be out there all day and your family suffering because you're working all the time, right? So it's a balance, right? There are certain intangible costs, right? That you can't put your finger on, but it'll cost you, right? Like your family. For instance, if you're a trucker and you're out there on the road, right, and you got a family at home, not a good idea. Okay, I've talked to a lot of guys who wanted to get into the trucking business, trucking industry, and I told them, hey man, it's better if you're single, right? If you, every now and then you see a couple on the road, right, traveling together, a husband and wife or something. Trucking together, but for the most part, if you're single or you're married and you're leaving your family at home while you're trucking on the road, good luck to you, man. I mean, it can work. People do that, but I don't suggest it. I don't suggest it. Try to get something local where you can be home every night and still have some free time. When I first started, I didn't have I didn't have any attachments, so I was over the road. Like I'd leave, go back to the East Coast. I mean, head to the East Coast, come back to the West Coast, turn right around. I mean, I didn't have time to breathe. Turn right around, take it back, come back, turn right around, take it back, come back. So that was my life back then. But I didn't have any attachments. If I was a married man, or if I, um, had a family like that, kids and all that, I wouldn't suggest it, right? So when you're choosing your career, whether it's in the trades or whatever, you want to consider all of that stuff, right? Because I mean, you could end up losing all that stuff because you made the wrong decision, right? Either or, you're going to choose your family, or you're going to choose that, right? So, workload meaning consistency. Yeah, I mean, workload meaning consistency. Yeah, the workload for a welder, Sean, can be, I'm sure it can be. How would you describe the workload? The workload would be, if you got, I don't know, depending on what type of welding you're doing. If you're working in a manufacturing facility, if you're, you know, doing, say, MIG welding or TIG welding, you can work on a part, then you just work on a particular part all day long, right? This is the part that you work on. Versus if you're working a structural type of welding, and you're working in building a high rise or something like that, you know, you can be all over the place in a high rise, welding different, I beams and stuff like that. So, but as far as hours, you can get, it's the hours are there. The hours are there. Um, Very good life notes. Welders are working in the transportation, MTA. Yeah, they got welders in all kinds of industries, man. Transportation industry, manufacturing industry, uh, building industries. They need welders in all kinds of places. Mm. The Little Kitchen. Are you still offering welding classes? Yeah, I mean, the welding classes are there. Where are you located? The Little Kitchen. Are you in California? Because I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles, and the nonprofit I work at, it's called Reignite Hope. They offer welding classes for free, and it's only a month. Okay, and we also offer mobile welding classes. I drive a mobile welding trailer around with welding class inside the trailer, welding classes inside the trailer, and that's something. Okay, and that's a 10-week course right now. Oh yeah, that's right, Perigirl Life Notes. Electricians will always have work. You're in LA, the Little Kitchen, Los Angeles? Yeah. Let me type hold on a second. Let me type it into the chat. I will. I'm gonna do that right now, Little Kitchen. I'll place the link, I'll place the website in the chat. You can give them a call. Ignite. Hold on a second here. Spelled that right. Reignitehope.com. That's it right there. Here's the link, guys. Well, thank you, Sean. God bless you as well. Sean, where are you from? What city you in? I'd like to know where you guys are from. I like to connect. I want to see if I've been there before. Like I said, I've done over the road trucking for many years. Not doing it now, and I've been pretty much every state. New York, yeah. You in the city, or you in New York State? Because the city is a whole lot different from the state part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. East Coast. Got you, Sean. I'm from the East Coast, man. I love the East Coast. I like the West Coast too. Every coast has its own flavor to it. You ever been on the West Coast, Sean? Got to come check it out, man. Got the beaches here. Yes, it is a concrete jungle, but New York has a certain energy about it, man. Even though it's a concrete jungle, the energy is like off the charts. There's no other place like it, man. I mean, it's like it has the type of energy that makes you want to go out there and just hustle and go for, just like be ambitious. You know what I mean? It gives off that type of a type of vibe. I love New York. I haven't been there in a minute, but I always remember my experiences there. Yeah, so Little Kitchen, check out their website. You know, give them a call and see if maybe you can get into the next class if you're in LA. Okay. So yeah, guys, you can definitely benefit from any event that happens if you're prepared. And that's the whole point is this live right here, right? I brought up natural disasters and all that, but at the end of the day, it's about where you prepared. I mean, it's about what you're prepared to do. Thank you so much, Little Kitchen. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate you so much on that. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting. Yeah, Perry Girl Life Notes. Check out anybody watching, whether it's now on the replay, check out local trade schools in your area, right? And see what programs that they have, to offer. Some they don't cost that much, but I guarantee you guys, you will not regret getting a trade under your belt. It doesn't take long at all. You just got to be punctual. You got to be on time. You got to be coachable, and you got to be, excited for your potential. You got to be excited to do something new, okay, and that you can do. None of these things out here, guys, are hard. It's hard is a mental thing, okay. And once you learn the basic skills of whatever it is, man, you become a master at it in no time. I've seen the youngest person that I've instructed in welding was 13-year-old girl, a 13-year-old girl, okay, from she went to a continuation school, and she became a certified welder. The class in the continuation school, a lot of the kids were kind of, they were at a continuation school because, they weren't doing so well in the regular school, right? So, we came to the continuation school with the mobile welding trailer, and we trained them. We trained them taught them how to weld. We got them certified, and a lot of the classmates that started off with her, they were not there. They didn't take it all the way through, right? Life happens. A lot of these kids, they come from really their backgrounds aren't so pleasant, right? And they come from a lot of broken homes and stuff like that. Everything that comes with that, right? They come from underserved areas, and a lot of her classmates didn't graduate with her, but she did. She was 13 years old. If a 13-year-old girl can become a certified welder, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Okay. And welding, it really isn't that hard, by the way. We got people coming through there. We're teaching them basic skills all the time. Okay, but think about that, guys. Perry Girl Life Notes. Having a trade means you will always have work, even if you are laid off from a regular job. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you guys. Yes, having a trade, learning a skill is different from having a job. Having a job, you can get fired, you can get laid off, whatever. And you may not be able to get that job back. If you have a skill, you can leave one place voluntarily and go to another place voluntarily, okay, confident that you have this skill that will pay you all the time, okay? And you can pretty much write your own ticket the longer you do it. The better you get, the more knowledge you have, you can pretty much write your own ticket, right? And you can, like I said, you can contract yourself out, or you can just start your own thing. You can start your own outfit. You can start your, if, say, for instance, welding, right? You learn the basic skills in welding. You can go to Home Depot, buy a welder or whatever hardware store, buy a welding machine, throw it on the back of your truck, and you're in business right away. Right away. Now, if you want to make it a formal business, you got to file, your LLC or your S corp or whatever, however you want to form the business legally. But the minute money transacts between you and another person who told you, hey, can you fix this for me? Can you build that for me? Can you weld that for me? That's business. All right. You've conducted business. You've made a transaction here. Value was exchanged. You performed your skill, and they gave you compensation. That's a business transaction. That's what you did. Okay, all because of the skill you learned. So I mean, people are going to need things for forever, right? People are going to need things done forever, whether that's plumbing, electrical, whatever. If you're a computer person, they're going to need somebody to fix the computer or something like that. You know, you can charge for that. Why not? Right? You will be doing yourself a disservice if you don't charge for your skills. That's why you got the skill in the first place. Unless you got money like that and you just, it's just a hobby to you, right? Yeah, the waffle too. Yeah, very inspiring. Hey, you guys inspire me when you come in the chat because I don't get too many people in the chat all the time. Hopefully that changes over time, by the way. But I appreciate you coming in the chat, and I really do. Give me a chance to interact and not just be blabbing and yapping. Right? That's what this is all about, guys. For you guys to come in and ask questions, and we go back and forth. This is not just a one-way street here. Okay. Yeah, guys. So once again, I stress anybody young out there trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. Consider getting a skill under your belt. It doesn't take long at all, and you won't regret it. Very good life notes. I'm an accountant now, but because I have a trade as a bookkeeper, payroll clerk, accounts payable, which is paying bills, or accounts receivable, which is record sales, each of these are skills that I'm out of work. Okay? Yes. Paragood Life Notes is saying all those things she has, all those skills she has, could pay her. She's never out of work. Think about it, man. People need people to organize their money, organize their finances. That will never go away. It will never go away, guys. Things are going to break down. That's not going to that's the nature of the physical universe. Things are going to break down. All right, even things that they built back in the days that were built to last, even they break down, right? So imagine if you have the ability to fix that, right? When they start automating a lot of things, automation's here already, right? They got robots. They got robots, doing things all over. I'm just looking at some of these warehouses. I've delivered to some warehouses, and they got these robots, these conveyor belts and stuff everywhere, right? Even as a trucker, I pulled a lot of loads out of the port of Los Angeles, and even the ports, right, where everything comes in from other countries, the shipments, they got gigantic robots carrying these big containers around. Okay, manless machines just carrying this stuff around. So automation's here. I'm telling you guys, it's here, and it's going to replace a lot of jobs. And a lot of people are going to find themselves without work, without a way to feed themselves, or having to work at Walmart as a greeter or something like that because they didn't get a skill. Automation phased them out. But what will not get phased out is the person who has to fix these big machines, who has to maintain them. And that's what I'm talking about, hard skills. And some of these skills are very interesting. It's not as tedious as you think. I mean, you're just learning a different way of using your brain, right? Like if you have mechanical skills or anything like that, that's great. Until they have flying cars, mechanics are not going anywhere, right? And even if they do have flying cars, you still need somebody to fix those. They even have big rigs that are manless now. Without they have the driverless cars, but they have driverless trucks. But you still need somebody to fix them. So you got to be able to foresee where the world's going as far as technology is concerned, and place yourself in a position where you won't lose out, which means getting the appropriate knowledge. So when that stuff catches up to the majority of humanity, you're already in place, right? You already got the knowledge there, right? That's all I'm saying. Just prepare yourself. Don't get caught with your pants down because you didn't prepare yourself. At least let your kids know, hey, listen, don't just go to college for something that's not gonna, that's you're unsure about. That's not gonna take care of you in the future, right? Don't let these colleges suck you dry or place you in a debt hole that's going to take you till you're 60 years old to get out of. Okay. And you still not making money from that skill or whatever you went to college for. It just does not make sense. Okay. You'll be doing your kids a disservice. You'll be doing your kids a disservice if you did that to them. But you will not be doing them a disservice if you say, hey, I know you want to be a lawyer. I know you want to be a doctor and all that, but why not go to that plumbing school for 6 weeks and learn how to, be a plumber or something? Why not learn how to weld so you can go fix fences in your spare time and make $200 in an hour, or something like that, or go to that HVAC school and just go, you can make money doing some HVAC runs in your spare time, something like that, right? Teach them a hard skill as well. Right? It'll make them better. And if, I tell guys and gals, let's just say you want to build something off the grid or something like that. You want to get off the grid. You already know how to do that stuff. You already know how to hook up your solar panels. You'll already know how to run your electrical. You'll already know how to do your own plumbing, hook up your own HVAC. If you want to go out there and, I don't know, the wilderness and build your own little compound or something like that, right? That's what I'm about, guys. I'm about learning these hard skills, learn some trade skills, and pushing that on the community, okay? And I'm going to keep pushing it on it because that's what I'm here for. Okay? I don't want you guys to forget that and neglect that. We saw what happened to this last generation of our kids having to deal with all this debt. Some of us are older and still dealing with college debt, and it doesn't have to be that way, right? And don't just think about jobs. Don't just think J-O-B. Don't think J-O-B. Think S-K-I-L-L. S. Think skills. Think hard skills. Hard skills that will take care of you for the rest of your life. Okay? For the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about where your next paychecks come from. And you can go out there and make some money right away. Right? Because people are always going to need stuff. Right? And while you're doing that, get some marketing skills under your belt too. Learn how to market yourself, right? With the internet, I mean, it's easy. But people are always going to need stuff. I guarantee your neighbor or somebody needs something done in their house, needs something done to their car or something like that, right? And hey, when I was, when I was 12, 13 years old, I used to mow my neighbor's lawns for money. Okay. So yeah. Hey, somebody may look at, look at mowing lawns. Well, they got people that mowing lawns now. They're making high six figures, right? Because they built their own business around that skill. So you don't have to stay on a certain level. You can build a business around that. You can build a business around that skill. You can expand. With a job, you can't expand. They'll only let you go as high as they want you to go. With the skill, you can expand. Get it, guys. You can expand into whatever you want to do. So yeah, I know I kind of veered off the natural disaster thing, but the whole point of bringing that up is that, or making that title of the video, is that it is an opportunity to learn skills so you can benefit from whatever event, disaster, I don't know, whatever comes down the pike. You're ready. Okay. So guys, I want to leave you with that. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much, Little Kitchen, for that. And hopefully you look up the link I sent you and check it out. If you're in the LA area, give them a call. And I appreciate everybody coming in. Sean, Perry Girl Life Notes, Cha Cha Girl, The Waffle 2. All you guys, I appreciate you. There's gonna come a point where it's gonna be so many people in the comments at some point. I foresee that I won't be able to answer all the comments, but I kind of skipped through. But for now, since it's kind of small right now, I'm seeing everybody, and I'm not forgetting you guys who are here on the first floor. Okay, love you guys. Hope you have a good evening and have a great the rest of your week. And I see some very prosperous things happening for you, each and every one of you. And I appreciate you coming in here and us having our little back and forth. You guys have a good one. I'll see you. I got a video coming out on Thursday Check that one out Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, guys, have a good one. Take care.